Hello everyone, my name is Vikki. I'm the co-administrator of the Ankylosing Spondylitis project that you may have read our open letter recently to the medical community. I'm doing a video to tell you what my AS story is. In the next few weeks, we will be releasing a lot of exciting things. We are going to be talking about redoing the pain index for people with chronic pain, because when you experience chronic pain, it changes the way you perceive pain. So the pain index doesn't really apply to us anymore. We're also creating a handout for you to take to medical providers to explain what ankylosing spondylitis is, and it has nothing to do with ankles, by the way. You'd be surprised at the number of doctors and nurses that ask that question, what's wrong with your ankles, when they hear ankylosing spondylitis. So this video is not rehearsed. I didn't write anything prior to this. I wanted this to be a very candid conversation. So you'll hear me stumble over words. I do have brain fog, so I may have to pause to find my next thought. And if you have brain fog, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, because sometimes I'll lose whole words and not be able to figure out what I'm trying to say. So my AS story starts 30 years ago. I was about 14 years old. And I started having chronic digestive issues and pain. My parents, in search of answers, took me to numerous doctors and internists and gastroenterologists trying to figure out what this was, and no one ever figured it out. Pain got gradually worse through my 20s. With each birth of my children, the pain seemed to escalate until July of 2015. About 4 years ago, I was referred to a pain management doctor here in Charlottesville, Virginia, where I live, and began receiving cortisone shots in my SI joints. So this past July, I started having intense pain in my right SI joint, and I went in, made the appointment to get another series of shots, and my doctor was out on medical leave. So I had to see one of his colleagues in his office, and Dr. Siddiqui in Charlottesville here is phenomenal, and he probably saved my life. He doesn't probably know that. But when you experience chronic pain for so long like I have, it takes you to some pretty dark places. There were times when I just didn't want to feel anymore. You know, does that mean that I was suicidal? If you talk to a psychiatrist, they would probably say yes. But I don't necessarily think that I wanted to harm myself. I just wanted not to feel anymore. When you experience chronic pain, and that's ongoing for years and years and years and years, it takes over your life. And I didn't remember, and sometimes still have a hard time remembering what my life was like before pain. I don't know if I remember what true happiness feels like, or joy, or feeling well, because I haven't experienced those things in a long time. Pain lessens your ability, I believe, to feel things other than pain. So Dr. Siddiqui probably saved my life, because he gave me hope that maybe there was a diagnosis, and maybe there was definitely something going on. So he validated that for me, and that kind of energized me a little bit, is being validated and thinking, well, hey, there might be something really serious going on. So while he was doing my SI injections, he noted that I had more arthritis in my hip in my right hip than most 42-year-olds should have. I think his exact words was more arthritis than most geriatric patients, and he sent me for blood work. This was third week of July, and my blood work came back the next week abnormal, so he referred me to a rheumatologist. Um, in the area in which I live, there seems to be a shortage of rheumatologists. It took me 3 months to get the initial appointment at the University of Virginia rheumatology clinic. I'm not sure why it takes 3 months to get an appointment for someone who is experiencing chronic pain. A lot of things can happen in 3 months. So I was just a little bit bewildered by that, but what was I going to do? So I filled out my new patient paperwork, and I wrote notes, and I listed what joints hurt the worst and which ones hurt the least. I was prepared. I wanted an answer, so I sat down as a problem solver, and I do what I do. I made a list. Some people may say that's a little OCD, but it is what it is. So I made a list, and my husband went with me to this appointment, and I was dumbfounded. And I'm not going to mention his name. He's not here to defend himself, but I did not have a lot of hope or validation that I was going to get answers when I left. He did your standard physical exam, pushed on my hip joints, had me raise my legs a certain way, and told me he believed I had hip bursitis based on the physical exam. Keep in mind that I believe that physical exams are a little bit subjective. I have lived with chronic pain for a very long time. And so, because I don't tell you exactly where you think I should be experiencing pain, he pretty much dismissed what I was going through because I didn't respond to where he thought I should as far as my pain. So he told me that I had hip bursitis, and then he followed that up with, well, there's this other thing that about 1 to 6% of the population get, mostly men. I don't think that's what this is, but we're going to send you for imaging and blood work anyway. So I left there feeling pretty much like I have always felt when I've left a doctor's office. Not heard. Like what I'm experiencing is in my head because maybe I don't fall exactly in the checkbox system of, if you, suspect this disease, these are the things you should look for. My body's just simply doesn't work that way. In fact, when I was in labor with my oldest son, the nurses at Labor and Delivery, also at the University of Virginia, didn't believe I was in labor because I wasn't withering in pain. I don't do wither. Sorry. Just don't. When I'm in severe pain, I internalize, and my mom had to basically say, nope, we're not going home because, she's in labor and, we're going to have this baby today. Anyway, so I don't express pain like most people do, just because I don't experience pain like most people do. I have a very high tolerance to pain these days, so my normal is about between a 4 and 6 on the antiquated pain index, which is pretty significant pain, but that's my normal. That's functional pain for me. And if you go by the pain index, and I say it's antiquated because it really doesn't apply to people with chronic pain changes the way we perceive pain. So for a 4 and 6, would be disruptive for most people. I don't have a choice. I can't react to that pain because I have to work. I have to take care of a family. I have to go on about life because that's just who I am. So anyway, first rheumatologist, totally dismissive. Left there feeling more hopeless. And so the last thing he said to me was, if you don't hear from me in a week, give me a call. So a week went by and hadn't heard from him. So I called and left a message. The nurse called me back and said, the doctor wanted me to tell you that you are positive for HLA-B27, and we're going to treat that aggressively. And I was like, what? HLA-B27. And we're going to treat that aggressively. And I said, treat what aggressively? You start throwing acronyms at me and and expect me to understand them right away. Not happening. I'm a pretty sharp cookie, but I still need some explanation about things. Sorry, there's a dog in here with me who is getting into stuff. So I had to jump on Google and find out what HLA-B27 was. And that's when I first heard the term ankylosing spondylitis. Was, excuse me for a minute, was Google. And so when I started talking to the nurse and asking questions about, the imaging, the blood work, she couldn't tell me anything, because in the States, nurses are not allowed to give medical advice. And I personally think if you're a doctor and your patient is being diagnosed with a chronic illness that is life-changing, you should at least pick up the phone and be prepared to answer questions. That did not happen for me. So that was it made me angry. So when a couple weeks went by and I got a call on a Friday night from the doctor's office, and they said, the doctor would like to see you right away at his next cancellation. This was a Friday night. His next cancellation is 10:30 Tuesday morning. And can you do that? And I said, well, if the doctor wants to see me, then I guess I will do it. And so I had to go the entire weekend thinking, oh my God, what is this doctor going to tell me? He wants to see me right away. Doctors don't call you and tell you, come in the next cancellation unless it's something really, really bad. So I had an entire weekend of anxiety, sorry, dog again, about wondering what the doctor was going to tell me. So Tuesday came around, my mother met me at the doctor's office. My husband surprised me at the doctor's office because I was pretty anxious about what the doctor was going to say. Well, I go back and he said, well, you have spondylitis, and there's a particular generic form of spondylitis. I don't know what it is. And that's what's going on, and we're going to start you on Humira, and you should be feeling better in about 3 months. And that was it. And I was thinking to myself, I don't have just generic spondylitis. I have ankylosing spondylitis. Whenever something happens, or I go into fight mode, basically. And so I had read everything I could read about HLA-B27 and realized that's exactly what I have. And so after that appointment, again, I was just not impressed with this doctor at all. He was offering me treatment, but, from everything I read, I just felt like, I wasn't getting the best care possible. And I was already pretty aggravated that, he wasn't communicating with me, especially since I now have a chronic illness, and he wanted the nurse to give me diagnosis information. So I ended up making another appointment with another rheumatologist in our area just to get a second opinion and feel better about the situation. And so one of the things I found out through this process is in 2011 I had a CT scan. I don't remember having this CT scan at all. That should show you how many doctors I've been to. And I found out that I've had fusion in my SI joint since 2011 and no one caught it. That to me is just inexcusable. And a downright failure of the medical system. So in December, I went to see the new rheumatologist who was amazing and threw out the generic spondylitis diagnosis and said, nope, this is AS, this is what this is. And he adds sulfasalazine and Mobic to my treatment regimen. So right now I'm on Humira, I am on Mobic, and I'm on sulfasalazine. The side effects are but I do notice a difference. So basically my story in a nutshell is 30 years of not being diagnosed, and this is not an uncommon thing with people with AS. A lot of us experience delays in diagnosis, and the problem with that is the earlier a diagnosis of AS is obtained, the better the outcome. I have damage that is not repairable. I now also have fibromyalgia and possibly inflammatory bowel disease and psoriasis and eczema. And so I have all of these additional things that perhaps could have been avoided had I been diagnosed earlier. Don't know, but that's just the way I feel. Like I said, I have pain every day. I have brain fog. I have chronic fatigue. And thankfully I have a job that's pretty supportive and flexible, and don't feel like I'm at risk for losing my job because I have an illness. And some people are not that fortunate. I have a great family and a husband that's supportive, and when I hit that pain wall or energy depletion, my husband picks up the slack, and that's great. Other people don't have that. My children still have to deal with having a parent who has a chronic illness. My 12-year-old one day said to his father that he wanted to go do something, but he didn't ask because mom is always too sick. That is a punch in the gut. And a lot of parents who have chronic illness have to choose between taking care of themselves and taking care of their children. And sometimes things get left behind in both categories. And it's not something, I didn't ask to be chronically ill. I didn't ask for this. And it just sucks. It sucks tremendously. And so these videos and starting the Ankylosing Spondylitis project and the things that we're doing is my effort to take control of an uncontrollable situation. It's just what I do when confronted with a problem is I go into work mode. Over the next few weeks, you're going to see us releasing different things. Like I said, we're going to do a handout for medical professionals that you can take with you to explain ankylosing spondylitis. We're going to reinvent the pain index for people with chronic pain. I will do another video shortly about how the open letter that we released last Wednesday came about. My daughter will be doing a video to talk about what it's like to have a parent with chronic illness. So there's a lot of things that we're doing. Basically, giving a voice to people who do not have one. Advocating for people with AS. And hopefully enacting some change in the system. So bear with us. You can find us at www.ankylosingspondylitisproject.com. That's our website. We've had about 47 hits since Wednesday. That is amazing. You can also find us on Facebook under Ankylosing Spondylitis Project. We're on Twitter. We're on Tumblr. We will be on Reddit. And we're on YouTube. So check out our YouTube channel, Ankylosing Spondylitis Project. Add your video, your AS story. Send your AS story via email to ankylosingspondylitisproject@gmail. Let us publish your AS story. Do a vlog. Put it on our YouTube channel. Just let your voice be heard. That's all we're asking. Whether you agree with everything that we say or the information we put out there, at least your voice is being heard, and we're starting a dialogue and conversation about what it's like to live with AS. So stay tuned. It is Saturday evening, and I'm at home with my family, and we're getting to go ready to go watch a movie. So I will be back soon to talk about our letter and why we chose to do that. Check out Steffi's video about living with AS. Her partner Bex did a video about being a partner to someone who has AS. And please comment and share. That's how you get things done. Like I said, let's go into work mode. Let's get it done. Let's change the way AS is treated and thought about. And you can be part of the change. Talk to you guys later. Bye.